Find number 11 and 12. You're going to find the solutions to the system by using substitution. When you use substitution, you're picking a value, solve for one variable, and you plug it into the other equation. Well, since we have this already solved for y, I'm going to rewrite that top equation. But I'm not putting y squared because I know y equals x plus 1. Square that and it equals 13. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to use the Punnett square. And you can use double distribution if you like to FOIL, that's fine. But I'm going to use the Punnett square, and I'm going to multiply the x times both x and 1, so that's x squared plus x. And then 1 times both of those terms is x. 1 times 1 is 1. So x plus 1 times x plus 1 is x squared. There's one of them. And then you have an x, and another x is 2x plus 1. So I'm going to go back and rewrite this, and that's x squared. I'm no longer going to put this because I know it equals this. So I'm going to rewrite x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 13. And we're going to combine like terms, and you have 2x squared plus 2x, and I'm subtracting 13 from both sides to get everything on one side, and you end up with negative 12 equals 0. Well, I know that factors out. If you want to use the quadratic at this point, go ahead and use it. I prefer factoring, so I'm taking a 2 out, and you're left with x squared plus x minus 6, and it equals 0. I'm going to go ahead and factor. Again, if you prefer quadratic, use the quadratic at this point. But we're looking for factors of 1 times 6 that subtract to give you 1. So your factors of 6 are 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. These two subtract to give you 1. And when you subtract, one of them is going to be positive and one's negative. Since 3 is bigger, 3 gets the first sign that's there, and that's going to be a positive, and the other one's a negative. Because the lead coefficient is 1, once you find the factors, you factored it. And this is x minus 2 times x plus 3 equals 0. So your solutions are what makes this one equal to 0 is positive 2, and what makes this equal to 0 is negative 3. Those are your answers. Okay, before we can substitute on number 12, I've got to solve one of them for a variable to plug into the other equation. So I'm going to take this one, subtract 2x from both sides, and y equals negative 2x plus 2. Hold on. Okay, my kids keep interrupting me. All right, back to doing this. I'm going to rewrite that top equation. But I'm not putting y squared because I know what y equals, and I'm going to put this in there, square it, and it equals 4. Okay, so I'm going to, let's see, I'll do the Punnett square again. We'll stay uniform. And that would be negative 2x plus 2 times negative 2x plus 2. So I'm going to do negative 2x times everything that's on the top. So that's going to be 4x squared minus 4x minus 4x plus 4. And now that I've done that, I'm going to write it on the outside. And that's going to be 4x squared. And now you have negative 4x, and another negative 4x is minus 8x plus 4. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to rewrite that equation. So you have 4x squared. And instead of writing this, I'm going to put what it equals, plus 4x squared minus 8x plus 4 and it equals 4. Combine like terms, you have 8x squared minus 8x, and I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, which makes it totally go away, and it equals 0. Anytime you have two terms, you're going to just try to factor it right there. And that, I can factor an 8x out, and you're left with x minus 1 equals 0. You have two terms, 8 times some number equals 0, or x minus 1 equals 0. So x is going to equal 0, and x minus 1 becomes 1. These are your two solutions.